Have you ever found yourself tangled in a web of mystery so deep, so intricate, that every new revelation sends shivers down your spine? Imagine stepping into the grand halls of the White House, not as a tourist, not as a politician, but as an investigator navigating the labyrinth of deception, power, and deadly secrets. Welcome to the story of the residence, where whispers echo through historic walls, where every locked door hides a potential clue, and where betrayal isn't just possible, it's inevitable. The death of Chief Usher A.B. Wynter was no ordinary tragedy. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a mere coincidence. It was a calculated, methodical, and chilling murder, one that unfolded in the very heart of the most powerful residence in the world. A crime committed with such precision that, for a moment, it seemed as if the murderer might vanish into the shadows forever. But the question remains, who really killed A.B. Wynter? What sinister motives drove them to such an act? And how did they almost get away with it? The answer is far more twisted, more shocking, and more sinister than you could ever imagine. The layers of deception run deep, and the truth is buried beneath a web of lies, misdirection, and dark intentions. Enter Cordelia Cupp, a brilliant yet unconventional detective, whose mind works in ways most of us can only dream of. She doesn't just analyze evidence, she immerses herself in it, allowing every small detail to guide her to the truth. Her sharp eye for detail, razor-sharp wit, and unparalleled instinct for human behavior make her a force to be reckoned with. She doesn't merely see the clues, she breathes them in, connects them like threads in an intricate web, and follows them to their inevitable conclusion. And it's this very intuition, this relentless pursuit of justice, that pulls her back into the reopened investigation, determined to strip away every lie, every half-truth, until the raw, undeniable reality is exposed for all to see. So, who were the prime suspects? The White House staff was filled with complex individuals, each with their own motives, secrets, and fears. President Perry Morgan and First Gentleman Elliot Morgan were eliminated from suspicion early on. Trip Morgan, the president's reckless brother, had his fair share of wild escapades, but did he have it in him to commit murder? Then there was Deputy Usher Jasmine Haney, whose ambitions might have driven her to extreme measures. Or could it have been Marvella, the sharp-tongued executive chef, or Didier Gotthard, the grumpy pastry chef with a questionable temper? The butler, Sheila Cannon, whose enthusiasm masked a guarded demeanor; the social secretary, Lilly Schumacher, a woman whose ambition often overshadowed her integrity; the housekeeper, Elsie Chale, whose quiet presence belied a past filled with secrets; the frustrated engineer, Bruce Geller, a man wrestling with his own demons; and the elusive Patrick Dumb, whose very existence within the White House seemed like an enigma. All of them had something to hide. But did any of them possess the cold determination to take another life? Cordelia's investigation wasn't just about identifying a killer, it was about unraveling the intricate layers of human nature. She understood that guilt is rarely loud, it hides in the smallest of gestures, the most fleeting of glances. And so, she devised a plan: watch for the blink. Just as a mockingbird flashes its wings to distract its prey before striking, the true murderer would betray themselves through the subtlest, almost imperceptible reaction. A single moment of weakness, a flicker of fear, would be all she needed to expose the truth. And that's exactly what happened. It was Lilly Schumacher. The seemingly poised and meticulous social secretary, the woman who orchestrated grand events with an effortless smile, was, in reality, a master manipulator driven by her own twisted vision of change. She was the one who turned the historic walls of the White House into the backdrop of a calculated, ruthless crime. But what drove her to cross the line from ambition to murder? What darkness lurked beneath her carefully curated facade? Yes, the very woman entrusted with organizing and beautifying the White House was its darkest traitor. But why? What twisted her sense of duty into a cold-blooded mission? The truth is, Lilly harbored a deep-seated resentment for the very institution she served. To her, the White House was not a beacon of history and honor, but a suffocating relic, an outdated monument to traditions she loathed. She didn't just want to change it, she wanted to dismantle it entirely, to mold it into something that fit her own vision. And when A.B. Wynter became the immovable force standing in her way, she saw only one solution: to eliminate him, to ensure that nothing and no one could challenge her will. The night of the Australian state dinner, Lilly set her plan into motion. She lured A.B. into a private meeting under the guise of reconciliation, her demeanor warm, her smile disarming. But behind her polished exterior lurked a deadly scheme. With calculated precision, she laced his drink with paraquat, a toxic herbicide designed to ensure a swift and undetectable demise. Yet fate intervened. A.B. sensed something was amiss. He had not consumed enough to succumb immediately. His pulse quickened, his mind raced. In a desperate attempt to rid himself of the poisoned scotch, he stumbled toward a nearby vase of roses, pouring the tainted liquid into the water. The delicate petals would soon wither, a silent testament to the treachery unfolding in the halls of power. This wasn't part of Lilly's plan. Panic set in. She needed to act fast. A.B. was still conscious, his eyes widening in realization, his body tensing as he tried to call for help. But Lilly couldn't let that happen. In a fit of fear and fury, she grabbed a heavy clock from the mantel, its polished brass surface gleaming under the dim light, and brought it crashing down onto his head. The sound was sickening, a sharp, wet crack that sent a chill through the air. A.B. staggered, a final gasp escaping his lips before he collapsed. The room fell silent, the weight of her crime settling in. But her crime was far from over. She concealed the murder weapon within a hidden passageway connecting the blue and yellow oval rooms, ensuring it would remain undisturbed. With practiced composure, she rejoined the elegant dinner, her expression a perfect mask of serenity. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the White House teetered on the brink of chaos, as the first signs of turmoil began to emerge. Bruce Geller, the engineer, stumbled upon the body and, in a moment of misguided loyalty, assumed L.C.E. Chale was responsible. Determined to shield her from suspicion, he hastily cleaned the scene and transported the body upstairs to room 301, pausing briefly in the Lincoln bedroom before finalizing his grim task. Meanwhile, Trip Morgan, intoxicated, disoriented, and overcome with panic, stumbled upon the corpse in room 301. In a desperate bid to make the death appear self-inflicted and avoid implicating himself, he used a knife from Chef Gotthart's office to slit A.B.'s wrists, further complicating the already tangled mystery. By the time Detective Cupp arrived on the scene, the crime had been twisted, shuffled, and distorted by a tangled web of well-intentioned yet ultimately misguided individuals. Each alteration, each attempt to cover tracks or protect the innocent, only deepened the mystery. But no amount of misdirection, no matter how cleverly executed, could keep the truth buried forever. Lilly Schumacher believed herself to be untouchable. She had manipulated, schemed, and covered her tracks with meticulous precision, weaving a web of deception so intricate it seemed impenetrable. But there was one force she failed to anticipate: the unrelenting mind of Cordelia Cupp. When Cupp retraced the steps of that fateful night, the puzzle pieces finally clicked into place. The missing page from A.B.'s journal was more than just an ordinary scrap of paper. It was a damning piece of evidence, detailing Lilly's financial corruption, her misuse of White House funds, and the secret backroom deals she had orchestrated to solidify her influence. A.B. had uncovered her deception and threatened to expose her. Faced with the impending collapse of her carefully curated facade, Lilly made a fateful decision. She didn't just silence him, she erased him, ensuring that his voice would never reveal the truth she so desperately sought to bury. The final nail in the coffin? Her own paranoia. Fearing discovery of the hidden murder weapon, she made a desperate choice, sealing the secret passageway. Yet, in doing so, she unknowingly marked her own downfall. This very action led Cordelia straight to the hidden clock, the irrefutable piece of evidence that would ultimately expose Lilly's crime. Justice was served. Lilly Schumacher was exposed, her intricate web of lies unraveled, and A.B. Wynter's murder avenged. But this wasn't just about one crime. It was about the insidious corruption lurking beneath the grandeur of the White House. For in a place where power reigns supreme, secrets have a way of clawing their way to the surface, no matter how deeply they're buried. So, what does this all mean? It means that power, ambition, and deception are inseparable companions, weaving through the fabric of history and influence. It means that even in the most revered sanctuaries, shadows can flourish, lurking behind the facade of order. And it means that the greatest weapon against the ever-twisting tide of falsehoods is and always will be the unrelenting pursuit of truth. If you found this mystery as captivating as I did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of the most enthralling stories. What are your thoughts on the residents' shocking conclusion? Drop your insights in the comments, I'd love to hear them. See you in the next mystery.